we have record low supply, man. That's why it's
Yeah.
insane. And that's why it's so
Yeah.
important to get in earlier because if you are looking at a property with buyer competition and you've got like more than 20, 30, 40 groups of people looking at that property, you're going to pay more. So that's
Yeah.
why this is, again, a larger topic, but we do most of our buying off of pre-market. So we try to avoid that. But in general, it's always best when you're not competing with buyers. That's a
Cool.
guarantee. And what
Yeah.
about the price points, Phil? So has that sentiment changed at all? Because last year and the last few years, I should say, people were really looking at the more affordable range in the market. We're still focusing on like, primarily sub 750, sub 800, depending on the locations. Have you seen any
Yeah.
shift towards, close to $1 million at all, or are you seeing a lot of kind of
It
more
is.
premium properties and locations?
Yeah, it is still about that same price point. What I'm actually seeing now is clients are willing to take more risks in terms of their interest rates. So what I'm
Mm.
seeing is clients are more willing to take on a bank that might be a little bit more expensive, that's going to give them more money, knowing that rates are probably going to go down. So maybe if I can maybe stretch myself a little bit at the beginning, right? I know in the future it's going to go down. I feel like that's the kind of thought that some people are having. So it is still in that 7 to 800 mark, but there's just no supply there, right? So people are just going to get forced to kind of take that next step up. So people don't want to spend that much, right? No one wants to spend that much, but they don't really have a choice, honestly, at the moment. It's either, develop what you have at the moment, and if you can't, try to find something else. And even then, it's just really, really competitive, as you're saying. Because, I was in Melbourne at the end of last year, and that was before the even rate cuts. And I felt like every place I went to, they had at least five families ready to go buy, right? And that
Yeah.
was then. Right. And it's only going to get even more and more competitive now across every kind of market within the country because there's just so much going on. There's just so
Mhm.
much like happening. And the fact that the sentiment to everyone is that it is going to improve, the rates are going to go down. I am going to get more money. I might be able to secure a better job, right? Businesses are starting to feel a little bit better as well. We're kind of really far away from all the extremes that's going on in other countries. So the sentiment there is that, we're trying to buy something is just super competitive.
Yeah, yeah. And